Alright, so I'm looking at just one more Game Boy Advance James Bond game. And this time I'm looking at the 2003 Everything or Nothing. So first off, let's look at the bullet opening sequence here. Already way better than Nightfire's. There's some actual graphics here. Alright, so far it's looking a lot better. So, Everything or Nothing, I know, was definitely one of the more popular James Bond games when it was released on PlayStation 2 and I think GameCube, which I'm going to look at those versions too. I have the PlayStation 2 version, so I'm definitely going to look at that. But it's one of the higher ranked Bond games next to, like, you know, GoldenEye. I mean, at the time anyway, it was one of the first Bond games. I think it might have been the first Bond game of like the modern era to be third person, because obviously with the success of GoldenEye, everything was just first person, just like Bond is first person for life, and that's kind of always been my problem with a lot of the James Bond games. Oh man, I am not really paying attention to where I'm going here. From what I have played in the PS2 version, I know there's actually quite a bit of this repelling stuff, so it's actually kind of interesting to see that it's in this version as well. Which is probably like a big deal at the time. I can't imagine a lot of games doing something like that. Like, the first Metal Gear Solid had some repelling action, but that's the only thing I can think of. Oh, that was kind of an easy first level. So I guess that's like the cold open. Oh, and we got some voice acting already. This one's a lot better. Okay, so we got some QLab stuff here. Looks like I can use some of these points I have to upgrade stuff, but nothing that looks like I really need. So I guess we'll just move on. Alrighty, this is a much better handheld game. And actually looked it up, the reviews for this version actually were pretty good. I mean, I'm sure at the time it was a really nice handheld game. I mean, the Game Boy Advance was a great system and still is one of my favorite handhelds, even with like phones and stuff nowadays. Alright, so I'm in a casino, classic James Bond setting. Alright, so it looks like there might be a little bit of stealth to this game. So you gotta sneak up behind him and hit the B button. So I got A to shoot, B to melee. Kinda like the music going on here. Oh, totally botched that. Yeah, more practice. Alright, so looks like with stealth kills you get style points. Gives you more points for your upgrades. Oh man, this camera is really wonky. What? Alright, there you go. Choked him out. Alright, so I can crouch. Oh, no, I'm hitting the button and it's not crouching, it's aiming. Oh, these guys are just tearing me apart. Oh, and I'm dead. Doesn't work out too well. Oh, man. Alright, got him this time. Trying to move with this D-pad is just... it's so unprecise, and I'm like moving on a plane and it's just... I can't tell which plane I'm on and which way actually means which way. Like, if I hold diagonal, actually means I'm going straight, so... the way the camera moves, I mean, it's such a small screen, it's just kind of like throwing me all over the place. Okay, so I guess I have to tap R instead of hold it. I was just holding it before. So tap is crouch, hold is like a manual aim. Oh my god, I'm dying. Oh, I got lucky. Oh. You gotta use health like a gadget. Alright, well, so far from what I've seen, this version of the game, I'm sure it follows the story of the PlayStation 2 version, but this version, it's definitely better than Nightfire, which was a poor excuse for a first-person shooter on Game Boy Advance. But this one just, I don't know, it's better. I definitely could see myself playing through this whole game. You know, I gotta say, I miss Pierce Brosnan as James Bond. I grew up in the age of Pierce Brosnan. Like, when GoldenEye came out, I was pretty young. I guess I'd be like 7 or 8. so I wasn't like super into Bond. I think the first Bond film I was aware of was The World Is Not Enough, and of course I knew about James Bond, but like to me Pierce Brosnan was Bond, and I didn't even know that there were these other actors that were playing the part. It wasn't something until I learned way later, and to me Brosnan was always my Bond until now. I mean, Daniel Craig to me is like the epitome of Bond. Like, I've read some of the books, and to me Daniel Craig just fits that character. But it's nice to kind of revisit Brosnan a little bit, even if it is in the video games. I thought he was really great. Excuse me. And kind of unfortunate that he ended on Die Another Day, which was obviously such a horrible Bond film, but I feel like he had like one or two more good ones in him. Like how I'm firing my gun around these people and nobody really cares. Alright, so I got that invitation from that guy, and now I'm going to sneak into this card game. No, that sounds like some classic Bond stuff. It's almost like Casino Royale. I wonder if that was the inspiration for this, because at the time, Casino Royale wasn't a movie. I mean, there was the old 60s version with Woody Allen, but that's awful. But I wonder if they were doing this because, like, from the books, you know, kind of inspired by Casino Royale from the books. I mean, James Bond's been in a casino and everything in, like, so many different Bond movies. So far, it's not all action. There's a little sneaking around, a little spy stuff. Man, it's really just this camera and like the movement that's kind of an issue for me. Like it's hard to like walk in a straight line because of the way you're like moving on like planes. But I don't know. It seems okay. We got very little voice acting, mostly by Judi Dench, it seems like, and oh man, I just can't get this stealth. Seems like every time I move to a new area, it saves, so there's frequent saving in the game, so that's pretty good. Definitely seems like a game that later on you could be dying left and right. Oh, and now I get to drive a car. Oh man, jeez. If I thought the controls were weird while walking, just being in this car is even worse. I haven't played this far into the PS2 version. I wonder if there's car segments in the PlayStation 2 version. Alright, I got machine guns, missiles, and oil slicks. So we got your classic Bond car gadgets. Although I seem to have trouble hitting anything, and it took me a while to even figure out I can kind of move backward and forward. Just because like the way the controls are for this driving segment, I didn't know I could go forward and backward. So I could only move left and right. Let's see. Let's try to hit him with an oil slick. Yes, from what I hear about game fans, the PlayStation 2 and GameCube versions of Everything or Nothing, I hear it's like pretty close to what you'd actually want from a Bond story, so I look forward to checking out the PS2 version, but I thought it'd be fun to look at this Game Boy Advance version. Some good, like, 16-bit era music, or I guess whatever era you want to call the Game Boy Advance. I always put it kind of on par with Super Nintendo, but... Alright, that didn't go so well. I guess we'll try. What are my objectives here? Alright, well, I guess we'll just try one more time. Maybe see if we can beat it this time. And we got R now instead of Q based on John Cleese, because as we all know, Desmond Llewellyn passed away after The World Is Not Enough. Oh, and I guess on The World Is Not Enough, I do want to say I really like that Bond film. A lot of people didn't, but I feel like it's a lot better on rewatches, although it does suffer from the fact that Denise Richards... Oh, okay, if I hold this button here, it fires a lot quicker. I mean, obviously that film suffered because Denise Richards is like the worst actress and one of the worst Bond girls, surprisingly next to Halle Berry. But Honestly, she's not even in the movie that much and doesn't have that many lines. Man, I can't figure out how these missiles work. I feel like sometimes these controls just aren't responding the way I want to in this car. I can't get this guy's health down. This oil slick is almost useless. No, it doesn't, no targeting. Oh, okay. It's like wherever the aimer is, the rocket shoots straight forward that way. Alright, now that I figured it out. But it looks like I'm about to be toast. Yeah. Alright, well, that was the Game Boy Advance version of Everything or Nothing. I'm definitely going to check out the PS2 version, so keep looking back for some more Bond videos.